Hi guys, this is a little addendum to our previous video about replacing the screws in your pool enclosure down at the bottom there when they've rusted out, which all of ours have more or less. And so what can happen also is there'll be a little separation between maybe your brick or whatever else is there and the white aluminum tracking. And obviously, when we're going to put a new screw in, like Francesco's teed up here, and we drill down next to the old one, like we told you in the past video, but now there's a big gap here. And for this case, there's still going to be a pretty big gap, but I want to make sure we get it as close as possible. And how I've determined best to do that is to make a little rigged up system here to push or to use some leverage to push this whole piece over as close as you can. And so what I've done is I put a piece of rebar in the ground here, about a foot or so into the ground. I got a big piece of pipe right here that fits over that, and then I got a 4x4. So I'm putting the 4x4 right here so I don't damage. And then I'm taking my piece of iron pipe and putting it down like this, putting it right over, and now I have a pry bar. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to lean against it, and it's going to close that gap as much as it can. So I'm leaning heavily against it right now, while Francesco is going to set the screw and keep it as close as we can, because then we'll fill that gap later on with sand, which is proper for pavers and all. So we'll fill that gap with sand, but obviously we don't want the gap to be too large. Thank you. Also, as Francesco just pointed out to me rightly, is that when you are using this pry bar to push the track and the whole aluminum upright closest as you can to your brick, that you also have to, this is a two-person job. Someone has to be holding this while the other person's drilling it, because you have to have the hole in the right place. And then once after you drill it, you can take a break, but then you have to pry it back, and then you have to set the screw. Bye now.